Today we are going to discuss about the screw gauge. So earlier we have discussed about how to measure the length of a given specimen using slide caliper. So in this video we are going to discuss about how we can measure the length using screw gauge. So before discussing about screw gauge, I want to tell you what is the advantage of screw gauge over slide caliper. In case of slide caliper, the minimum measurement we can do was 0.01 centimeter. But in case of screw gauge, the minimum measurement, that is the least count, is 0.001 centimeter, or depending upon the instrument, it is 0.0005 centimeter. Okay, so that means we can measure more smaller object precisely and accurately using this screw gauge, which the vernier caliper cannot do because its least count is 0.01 centimeter. Okay, so every experiment starts with the aim. So here the aim is to determine the diameter or thickness of a wire or a plain lamina and to calculate its cross-sectional area. That means diameter or thickness. A wire will be given to you, a thin wire will be given to you, and you have to determine the diameter, or a plain lamina, a plate kind of thing will be given to you, and you have to measure the thickness of that plate. And after finding the thickness of the plate, you can determine the volume by the formula or by simple methods, and after finding the diameter, you can measure the cross-sectional area of the given wire. Okay, so the apparatus required for this is screw gauge and given specimen. That is, the specimen can be a thin wire or a plain lamina. Okay. So let me tell you about the various part of this screw gauge. So to show you each and every part, I have drawn it to a big space in the board. Okay. So this is the screw which is accurately cut. Okay. And this is a screw. This is the two jaws to hold the object. This is the fixed jaw. This is the movable jaw because this jaw is attached to the screw. With the screw, it can move. Okay. So here you have to place the object and measure the length. And this is the U frame. This is the U frame. And this is the main scale, or this is also called the linear scale. This is the spacing between this is like our normal scale. Okay. And this is the sleeve. And this is the circular scale. The circular scale is attached to the sleeve, and also when we will move this sleeve, this screw will also move. Okay. So this is the mill head. By holding this, you have to make the rotation either in clockwise direction or in anti-clockwise direction. Okay. Some divisions are also shown in this circular scale, and some divisions are also there in the main scale. Let me tell you one thing. Here I have written 20 into 1 mm. This means this is the maximum length of the main scale. Means 20 millimeter means 2 centimeter. Means up to 2 centimeter this main scale can measure maximum. Less than 20 centimeter it can measure, but less than 2 centimeter it can measure, but more than 2 centimeter it cannot measure. That's why from the beginning I told you that this instrument is used for the precise measurement of small objects. Okay. In some scale you will also see the divisions. There is another division between two divisions. Okay. So as you know that in between these two it is 0.1 centimeter. When you have another division between these two, it will give you 0.05 centimeter. Okay. It will depend. I will show you in the real screw gauge how these divisions differ. Okay. So let me show you in this. So you can see this is a screw gauge I am holding in my hand. So as I shown you in the board about the various part, I want to show you in real also. So you see this is a milled head. By holding this you have to make the rotation. If you rotate in clockwise direction, the screw will move towards the left. If you rotate in anti-clockwise direction, the screw will move towards the right. So with the sleeve, the rotation of the sleeve is also moving. Is also moving with this. Okay. So the screw is moving right and left. So these are the two jaws where you have to place the object. This is a thin wire given to you whose diameter you want to measure, or this is the plain lamina whose thickness you have to measure. So while doing the measurement, you have to put the object here. I will show you how to take the measurement later. You have to put the object here and you have to calculate the thickness or diameter of the given object by using this screw gauge. So you see, this is the linear scale, this is the main scale or linear scale. There is a base line is there, in between, the straight base line. Let me show you once again. Let me open this. See, this is a base line is there, this is the base line. Okay, and some divisions are also there in the circular scale, and you see I have drawn it in the board. The maximum measurement it can do is up to 2 centimeter, starting from 0 to 20. Here it is written 20 into 1 millimeter. Okay, 20 into 1 millimeter. Okay, so when you rotate this, holding this milled head, when you rotate this, you will see on the rotation of this circular scale, this screw is also moving along its axis in linear direction. Okay, so there are 100 division in the circular scale. See, this is the 0. Then if you go like this, if you will end it at, this is 90, and after you will count all these divisions, you will end it in 100. So as it is a circular scale, so 0 and 100 are at one point. Okay, so while doing the measurement, you have to always focus on the baseline of this main scale, where the circular scale is showing the division. I will tell you in properly while I am taking the measurement. For the time being, you just understand each and every part. This is the U frame, this is the jaws, and this circular scale, linear scale, milled head, sleeve, and okay. So this is the screw. You see, why it is called screw gauge? Because see, it is made like a screw. It is made like a screw, and each screw is equally spaced and finely cut and equally spaced. That's why this is also called a screw gauge. Okay. So now let me explain you upon which principle this screw gauge make the measurement. Okay. So the principle is, it works on the principle of micrometer screw. So the screw gauge work on the principle of micrometer screw. What does this principle say? The principle said that when you have a finely equally spaced threads, or this screw is made finely cut, when you have a finely cut screw and when it is allowed to move inside a nut like this, you see the diagram, you see the video in which a finely cut screw is allowed to move inside a fixed nut. Then you see, when you do the rotational motion, there is also some distance covered in linear direction by the screw. You see, while I am rotating this screw is coming out because this is making some motion in the linear direction also along its axis. So by rotational method, we can find the distance, the linear distance covered by the screw. So based on this principle, we measure the length. Means when you will fix the object in between these two jaws like this, when you fix the object in between two jaws and you will close this and you will close this, always try to rotate by holding this milled head. Okay, when you close this, a sound will come like this. Then you will remove this plate without disturbing, and now when you will be able to measure this distance, this will give you the thickness of that plate. So what you will do, you will just make the rotation. While doing the rotation, this will cover some linear distance, and that linear distance will give you the thickness of this plate. So I will discuss properly about this, how to take the initial and final reading. I will tell you. For the time being, you just understand. So the principle is this: By rotational motion, the linear distance covered, and that linear distance we have to measure. Important to know the list count of any instrument, because list count is the minimum measurement of the instrument. So to determine the list count, it is necessary that we should first find out what is the value of the pitch. So the pitch is given by the distance moved by the screw head in 10 complete rotation divided by 10. So students, don't get confused by this definition, because I have told you that the distance covered by the circular scale for one complete rotation. So here I have written 10 complete rotation by 10. Both are same, because if you take for one complete rotation, it will give you the distance. If you do 10 complete rotation and divide with 10, both are same. Both will give you the same value. So here you will get something in terms of centimeter. Generally, we have two instruments which I will show you later, that one is having pitch 0.1 centimeter or 0.05 centimeter, and accordingly the list count will be pitched by total number of division in circular scale. So generally, basically the instrument I have in my lab is having 100 division in the circular scale. So you have to divide with 100 and you will get the value. So either you will get here 0.01 centimeter, or you will get 0.0005 centimeter. If the pitch is 0.1 centimeter, and if it is 0.05 centimeter. I will show you how this 0.1 or 0.05 came. I will show you, and this is 100, because the instrument we are having in our lab is having 100 division in the circular scale. Okay. So now, as per the definition of pitch, the pitch is nothing but the distance between two consecutive threads. So these cut are called threads generally. You see, the distance between two consecutive threads is called pitch. Another definition is the distance covered by the circular scale over the linear scale for one complete rotation. So let me first explain you what is meant by one complete rotation. You see, suppose this is the baseline. I told you this is the baseline. This is, suppose initially the baseline is coinciding with the zero line of the circular scale. Okay. So one complete rotation means you will do 360 degree rotation, and again the initial reading will come. Okay, don't take 0, just take 20. Suppose 20. Now it is 20. I have rotated 360 degrees so that it will again come back to 20. So when it again come back to 20, it had made 360 degree rotation. That means one complete rotation. So pitch means for one complete rotation, how much distance it has covered in linear direction. Or you can also say that distance between two consecutive threads, because when you do one complete rotation, only for once you rotate this, you see that for one complete rotation, one thread is coming out from this end. One thread is coming out. Again next rotation, another thread will come out, like this. So distance between these two threads is called the pitch. Also you can see in this main scale, when you do the, let me show you, when you do the one complete rotation, it will cover only 0.1 centimeter, because the space, you see the spacing here, the spacing is, each spacing is 0.1 centimeter starting from 0. This is 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, like this. This is 0.1 centimeter, this is 0.2 centimeter, like this. So when you do one complete rotation, it will cover, let me show you how much is cover. You will know by yourself what is the pitch of this instrument. I will keep it at 5 now. I have kept it on 5, and now the initial is the baseline is coinciding with between 15, suppose 10 and 20, in between this it is 15. So now I will do the one complete rotation, 360 degree rotation I will do. I come back to the initial position. You see, initially it was on 5, now it has shifted to 1 division. So that means the pitch of this instrument is 0.1 centimeter. but this for this instrument it is 0.1. This instrument the pitch is 0.1 centimeter, but depending upon the cut of the thread, depending upon the spacing, the pitch vary from instrument to instrument. Like this, like see in this instrument, the cut between the threads are very close. The threads are very closed here as compared to this. As compared to this thread, these threads are very closed. So here the pitch will be, definitely it is less, because as I told you, the pitch is nothing but the distance between two consecutive threads. So here the pitch will be less. So here you see in linear scale, the division is little bit different here. You see in linear scale here, another division is also there in between these two. Another division is also there in between these two, means between 0 and between 0.1. Another division is also there, that will give you 0.05 centimeter. So when you will rotate this for one complete rotation, it will cover 0.05 distance and 0.05 centimeter, and that will give you the pitch of this instrument. So it is very important to find the pitch from the beginning, and that is fixed for a particular instrument. After finding pitch, for least count you have to divide it with pitch by the number of divisions in the circular scale. The instrument I have right now in my hand is having 100 division in the circular scale, here also, here also. So you have to divide pitch by 100, you will get the value of the least count. So here least count is 0.1 centimeter by 100 will give you 0.001 centimeter pitch, and for this instrument 0.05 centimeter by 100 will give you 0.0005 centimeter. Okay. So now let us discuss about the working formula. The working formula is, if you want to find the diameter of a wire or the thickness of a plain lamina, that will be given by pitch scale reading plus circular scale reading. Okay. When you will be able to find the pitch scale reading and circular scale reading, and when you will add them, it will give you the diameter of the wire or thickness of the plain lamina, depend upon what kind of object you are using. So ultimately we have to measure the length, and diameter or the thickness are nothing but the length parameters. Okay. So using the screw gauge, we will be able to find the diameter, that is pitch scale reading plus circular scale reading, and the pitch scale reading is given by pitch into number of complete rotation. Okay, that's why I have shown you how to find the pitch, which is fixed for a particular instrument. So pitch scale reading is, the formula is pitch into number of complete rotation. You have to count how many number of complete rotation it do in order to travel the linear distance. I will show you how to find the number of complete rotation. Then the circular scale reading is least count into difference between initial and final. This sign indicates the difference. This is not minus sign. I will tell you what is the meaning of this, but you just think, you just now understand that this is the difference between the initial and final into the least count will give you the circular scale reading. Now come to the note. This is the most important part of this experiment. Otherwise, many students do mistakes here. While finding IF difference, what they do, they forget to check whether the value of the I is more than F or less than F. So what they basically do the mistake, suppose they found the final reading as 40 and initial reading as 20. So they will do 40 minus 20. That means they will do final minus initial, but which is a wrong way to do. It's a wrong way to do. Okay, which is incorrect. What you have to do, when you will measure the initial reading, let me tell you what is I first. I is initial circular scale coincidence, and F is final circular scale coincidence. So in shortcut, I have shown it as capital I and this as capital F. And both of these will be found from the circular scale. So when your I is greater than F, you will simply subtract I minus F. But when this I is less than F, you have to add I minus f, where n is your number of division on circular scale. We know in our instrument the number of division on circular scale is 100. So if your initial reading is smaller than final, you have to add 100 to the initial reading and then you have to subtract f. Okay, in this way you will find I minus f, then multiply it with this count, it will give you circular scale reading, and hence you will find the diameter of the scale. So after finding the diameter, we will use the formula to find the cross-sectional area of a wire. Cross-sectional area means what? A thin wire is given to you. Cross-sectional means this area. This area. Suppose this is a pen. Suppose this is a wire. This area you have to form. This is looking like a circle. If you cut this area is looking like a circle. In this wire also, if you cut this one cross section will give you an area that is looking like a circle. Okay. So when this is circle, the area of the circle is pi r square. Okay. So now you know the diameter. If you know the diameter, you can easily find out the cross sectional area. If you write in terms of radius, it will be pi r square. But if you write in terms of diameter, you know radius is nothing but diameter by 2. So pi d by 2 whole square, it will give you pi d square by 4, which I have written here, pi by 4 d square. Pi by 4 d square. This will give you the cross section area of the wire. So after find diameter, you will put the value of d here and you will get the cross sectional area of the wire. Okay. So now let us come to the tabulation part. The tabulation is having these elements you have to find out in order to do the calculation. So in the tabulation, number of observation, this is ICSC, initial circular scale coincidence, denoted by capital I. Number of complete rotation, denoted by N. Then final circular scale coincidence, denoted by F. And extra division is IF. Difference you have to find, that I told you in the note. Then pitch scale reading is pitch into number of complete rotation in centimeter. Then circular scale reading is count into I minus F, the extra division. Then the diameter and the mean diameter. After finding, you will do the calculation. Let me show you how you will take the reading. Okay. Now we will discuss how we will take the reading. How we will take the initial circular scale coincidence I, and how we will know the complete rotation N, and then the final F. Okay. So you see, this is the baseline of the main scale. This plays the most important role, because this will tell you how much is the reading in the circular scale. Okay. So first what you have to do, you have to note down the pitch and list count of this instrument. As I told you earlier, that the list count of this instrument is 0.001 centimeter, because it contains 100 division in the circular scale, and while dividing the pitch by 100 you will get 0.001 centimeter. So let me show you how you will do the measurement. First of all, let me show you for the thin thread, the wire part. Let me show you for the wire how you will take the measurement. First you have to take the wire and put it in between these two jaw. Okay. Then you have to hold this milled head and rotate it so that it will completely touch the object. Okay, you have to hear a sound. When it will completely touch the object, it will make a sound like this. Okay, then you have to remove this wire. Then now you don't have to rotate this. First you have to note down the capital I, initial circular scale coincidence. So you have to look at the baseline. The baseline is showing, this is the baseline. It is in between 20 and 30. So it is in 25. You see the baseline 24. The reading is 24. You see it carefully. The baseline is indicating in the circular scale as
24. Whenever you will do the measurement, just look at the baseline and then you see where this baseline is coinciding with the division of the circular scale. So here it is 24. So after knowing the initial as 24, you will slowly rotate this, but while rotating this, keep in mind that you have to calculate how many complete rotation it makes, because when this will be completely closed, that length will, we have to know the final, but before that we have to know how many complete rotation it make. So you will slowly calculate how to do the complete rotation. You just see, this is at 24, do the one rotation, bring it to 24, again do one rotation, bring it to 24, like this. That will give you the complete rotation. Half rotation is not allowed. You will not count that half rotation. Okay, I will show you. See, I will started doing this. I came back to 24. So this will give me one complete rotation. Count it as one. Then again do this. 2. 3. See, already 3 is done. Now, when this completely touch this, a tick sound will occur. Okay. Then you have to note down the final. But if at that time the rotation is not complete, you don't have to count that. You have to only count the 3 complete rotation. Till now we have 3 complete rotation. Now do this. A sound is coming. So the scale, the circular scale has not made the 4th complete rotation. That means our n is 3. And now we will note down the final. The final will be which line the baseline is coinciding. The baseline is coinciding. The final came out to be 94. So now I will note down the first observation. The first observation, initial is 24, number of complete rotation is 3, final is 94. So if you want to calculate the extra division, you see the initial is smaller than the final. That's why we have to add 100 to this 24 and then we have to subtract. That means I have to do, what I have to do, 24 plus 100 minus 94. Then it will give you 124 minus 94. It will give you 0. So this is 30. Then pitch scale reading. After noting down this I, N and F, rest of the things you can easily do, because this you can find, I found this, see, I is less than F, that's why I added 100 to 24, then I subtracted 94, I got 30. Then the pitch scale reading will be pitch into number of complete rotation. Our pitch of this instrument is the pitch is here 0.00, pitch is equal to 0.1 centimeter. So you have to multiply 0.1 into 3. You will get 0.3. Then circular scale reading is least count into the extra division. Least count is 0.001 into 30. It will give you 0.03. Okay, so this is the pitch scale reading, this is the circular scale reading. Then the diameter will be, you have to add this and this, 0.3 plus 0.03. This will give you 0.33. And after doing 10 observation, this is the first observation, then again you have to open it, again you have to keep this wire in between these two jaw, and then again you have to take the reading. Similarly, you have to do 10 times, then you will get 10 values here, then you have to add them, then you have to divide with 10 will give you the mean diameter. So now you understood how to take the reading. After taking the reading and after finding the mean diameter, you will write the value here. Then you have to apply the formula for cross sectional area, that is pi by 4 d square. You will get some answer in terms of centimeter square. Okay, you will get some answer in terms of centimeter square, and you will write down that the conclusion is the diameter is found to be some value centimeter, and then the cross sectional area of the wire is found out to be something centimeter square. Okay, so this is for the wire. Similar procedure you have to do for the plain lamina. In case of plain lamina, we only have to determine the thickness. After finding the thickness, that is the conclusion, that thickness of the plain lamina is found out to be this much. Okay.
And if you want to find out the volume of the plane lamina, you have to take the help of the graphical method. Let me tell you, it is not okay. I will tell you about the graphical. Suppose a graph paper is given to you. You have to put that plane lamina on this graph paper. Then you have to draw the outline of that plane lamina. Then you have to count the number of complete square. When you will be able to find out the number of complete square, then you will be able to find out the volume. Volume will be thickness into that number of complete square. So see here, this is a complete square, this is a complete square, this is a complete square, like this, you see. But this is not a complete square. So here suppose 8 number of complete square we got after drawing the outline of this plane lamina on the graph paper. Okay, this is not looking like a graph paper. Graph paper is equally spaced. When you will use that graph paper, you will draw the outline of the plane lamina, and that will give you. Then inside that small area, you will count the complete square. Suppose 8 number of complete square came. That will give you 8. You have to do 8 into the thickness. That will give you the volume of the plane lamina. Because 1 square is equal to 1 centimeter square. So you got 8. So it will give you 8 centimeter square into the thickness. Thickness will be found in centimeter. So when you multiply the thickness in centimeter, the volume will be in centimeter cube. You will get the volume in centimeter cube. In case of error, like in vernier caliper we found out the error. In screw gauge also we have encountered backlash error. But in case of screw gauge, that error is very negligible. So generally we avoid the calculation of error in this instrument. The only motto of our experiment is to find out the initial circular scale coincidence, number of complete rotations, and the final circular scale coincidence. The error part is not included because it is very negligible, which is not necessary for the calculation purpose. Okay. So this is all about the screw gauge, how you will do the measurement using screw gauge. So you will get the reading up to 3 decimal places or up to 4 decimal places. So as you know, the more number of decimal places added to a particular reading means the reading is more accurate. So in case of screw gauge, if your pitch is 0.001 centimeter, if your least count is 0.001 centimeter, you will get the reading up to 3 decimal, corrected up to 3 decimal places. And if it is 0.0005 centimeter, you will get the reading up to 4 decimal places. So here we see that we are getting more accurate precision or measurement as compared to our slide caliper. Okay, so this is all about your screw gauge, which is giving us more accurate reading as compared to our slide caliper.